Hello and welcome back to Galgorm Hall. In this video I would like to show you how to go about building a coal staith for your layout. I need one of these for the goods yard on the branch line side of the layout, and rather than going out and buying one of the kit options from Wills or Ratio, I thought I'd give a bash at trying to build one of my own. So what we have here in front of you now is a very simple plan of what I'm looking to do. The coal staith will measure approximately 10 centimeters in length, will be divided into 3 bays, and each bay will have a divider made such as this. Now the coal staith is going to sit approximately 16 millimeters high. Now that allows for the clearance of a coal wagon to come in, open its doors and spill the coal out into the relevant bay. Now I have measured this against my track, which is code 75. It's also not sitting upon any cork, so if you were to go and make one of these for yourself, you may need to make slight alterations to the height of your staiths to suit the clearance levels of your wagons rolling in above. So taking that, each of these pillars we're going to use, this is 3mm square pine, I think it is, but anyway it's a modelling wood material, and each of those will go in along here. Behind that on this section here we will have, again, now these are about 4mm strips of wood, and they're already cut to the 10 centimeter length, and they will sit across that with these here on top. We'll then paint and weather these right down and add it to a base and add some coal, and that will be the build complete. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go away and I'm going to finish cutting out all the pieces that I need for this, and whenever that's done I'll come back and we'll do a little gluing process just to show you what way they're going to go together. Okay, I have the first little bits and pieces cut out and ready to go. I'm going to use my drawing as a template to make sure that everything sort of goes together correctly. So what I'm going to do first is lay the vertical strips down. Now I've added little glue dots onto the page, and this will be just to keep everything in place while the glue sets. I'm just going to be using standard PVA glue. Now those glue dots are quite a low tack adhesive, so whenever everything's set it's fairly easy to peel it away from the wood, and there's no residue left on it. Now I'm not looking for complete tightness on these boards. I think it will add to the effect if there's a couple of minor gaps, just showing the age and the wear and tear of these boards are going to get. I should also say as well, all these strips of wood have been sanded down lightly with a fine grade sandpaper, and it's just to take all those little extra burrs off the material or off the wood, so that whenever it comes to applying all the paint and you put it into situ, that you don't get these sort of little strands coming. Let's just take this off and I'll show you what I've done so far. So that's it there, and as you can see there's some of them have little gaps in it and that, but like I say, that will just add to the effect whenever the thing's complete. I'm just going to lift that top one again, it's a wee bit off centre, off from the rest of them, and I'll reapply it. Okay, so once that's done, have a little dab of PVA sitting here ready to go, and I'm just going to touch into it. We'll get rid of most of it and apply the first one on the end. Now I want to try and make sure that we get these nice and straight and level with the bottom or bottom board. And the next one goes around about there. And here. And the final one. Now these will leave overnight to dry thoroughly. While they're doing that, I will go on and I will build the side base sections, and we'll come back once I have those made, because they're going to be made in exactly the same way. Now the only difference with these ones here, with the side base sections, I'm only going to do the one post, because at this end here it's going to be fitted on to this post. In the case of the two ends, we'll run it down the side, and in the case of the center ones, we'll probably just butt it up to it. Now the sides for the bays, I think I've measured out at around about, it's approximately 30mm. So what I'll have to do is deduct a further 3mm from the middle ones, so that they all sit at the same distance. So I'll go away and I'll make up the 4 of these, and by the time I do that, this will have glued and we can do the next stage. Right, a little further along now. As you can see, I have the sides all done. They've all been glued into place, and I went with the option of just butting the center ones up to the posts here and here. So the next stage is painting. Now, in all honesty, I have been struggling to try and get a decent looking colour to apply to the wood. Initially I wanted to do it in the form of washes, building up the colour so that you would see the wood grain beneath, but I think the wood grain in these is just so fine that any wash that goes on top just sort of gets saturated and you don't see the colours below. But let me show you what I have been looking at. So I've done a couple of wee sample pieces. Now initially, in the likes of this one here, you can see that I've tried to do a wash. There's too much of the sort of that pale sandy colour that comes through with the wash. Now again, I had tried to layer it up, but in layering it, it just made it black basically, so it did far too dark. Now I know there's going to be a lot of coal in around here. We're going to have it, it's going to be a very dark looking feature or structure, but it was just too much. So moving on, is this the one I'm going to use? Yes, this is the one I'm going to use. Now we're probably not going to be able to pick it up in this light here, but it's a much more browny colour, and I've actually added a touch of, certainly on this side here, a touch of weathering powder rust into it, and to the naked eye you can certainly see a little orangey tint to it, and it's quite a nice wee effect, I think. So this is the one I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this to the staithes, and once that's done, maybe with a little bit of dry brushing of some lighter colours, maybe sort of a wee touch of grey or that, just to bring out some, you know, try to accentuate some of the tones of colour in it, will just sort of help finish it off, and that'll be this little project done. Now I did say I was going to include installing the coal and all in at this stage, but in actual fact I've changed my mind on that. This is going to sit on top of a cobblestone section in the goods yard, and really I can't fit the coal until I get that area finished and this set into place. So I'll go away, I'll do the painting, do a little bit of weathering on it, come back to you to show you the final results, and we'll leave it there for now. Right, I'm on to the final parts of this build, and just before I finish it off I wanted to show you the paint scheme that I'm working with. Now on the inside is the base colour that I've used. That's a combination of browns, a drop of green, black, and a little bit of Humbrol's rust weathering powder as well. I'm not sure how well the camera will bring that up, but it's not a bad colour for a timber effect. I actually had to take out the centre ones here because it proved too difficult to actually sort of get the painting done and around it, so that's why there's a little bit of mess there, but that'll all get covered up once the coal and everything gets in. So I've started working on the weathering of it, and it's a very simple weathering process I'm using. I am basically just using a black acrylic and a wee touch of grey in that in places. So this is prior to the weathering, and then if I turn it round, this is the weathered side. It maybe doesn't look that much different on camera here, but certainly it's darkened it down a lot more. You can possibly just pick out the grains of wood where the dry brushing of the acrylic paint over the top has brought out the darker tones, and because this is obviously a coal Staithes, it is going to be fairly dark and grubby, and that's what I'm trying to aim for. This is going to be rail side on this, so there's a certain amount of spoil which is going to spill down the front, and I'm just trying to pick up the definition in that. But overall, I'm quite happy with how it looks. So I'm just going to go and finish this off, and I'll probably just stick a couple of still pictures up at the end of the final piece prior to any coal being installed in it. But that in essence is the completion of the project at this stage. I will follow up at a later date with the coal and coke in the sections themselves, but in the meantime that finishes this. I hope it's been of some help to you. Please feel free to comment on the little project in the comments beneath, and if you like it and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so by clicking the little icon, and I'll speak to you again soon. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.